Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is a sore throat apparently today. No, my name is Trogdor. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome finally to the first week of the PTL. It's been the first week for a little bit, but this is the first battle. I already got up my team builder. If you did not see that, go check it out. It's an in-depth look at the team that I brought. I also go over my opponent's team. My opponent is Ian and the Surrey Stingers, who, as I mentioned before, has like the most stacked team in the entire division, which is insane. Like his Dragon Fairy Steel Core, which, he's got Clef Jirachi Salamence, he's got Mega Lopunny, and like a few other like insanely good things on his team. So it's fair to say that we've got our toughest match, like, hit the ground running, and it's our toughest match of the entire season. Week 1 is what I'm saying, and we've got a team to deal with that. Like, if you didn't see it, like, go do that. I went into it in depth, but basically I've got Rock Polish Lando, I've got Sitting Duck Cresselia, I've got Spore Amoonguss, Revenge Killer Weavile, Mixed Bulk Steelix with Rocks, and Scarf Rotom. So my opponent basically brought the entire team that I predicted. Jirachi is there, Blastoise is there, Drapion is there, Clefable's there, Mega Lopunny, and Roserade. Everything on his team, like, I know how to deal with this. I'm very glad to not see the likes of Salamence, even though I was, like, well prepared for it. I'm glad to not see the America Bird, and it's essentially what I was expecting. Without Steelix, Drapion would basically be shutting down my Wall Core. Roserade shuts down Amoonguss hard, but I need it there for the Blastoise. And basically the team composition that he brought right here is, once Blastoise is weakened, Landorus cleans up. Like, Clefable needs a little bit of prior damage. That would be really great to get. Got a scout for if Jirachi is Scarf or whatever, but I even whatever his Scarfer is, I outspeed it at +2. I've got to play Rotom smart because I need to use it to whittle down the Blastoise. I need to make sure that I get up my Rocks because those are super helpful. It'll also help me scout for the Clefable set. So I mentioned in my, team builder, that I was going to lead Weavile most times, but I decided, like, he doesn't have a Volt Switch immunity, so I'm gonna lead Rotom and just start getting chip damage on his team. That'll make Landorus' life so much easier, and he honestly doesn't have a whole lot that wants to take a Volt Switch, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, let's get the battle started right now. So he leads Jirachi, I lead Rotom. He's probably gonna get up his Rocks as I Volt Switch, and I've got switches for Jirachi. Like, Steelix comes in, he gets up his Rocks. I'm going to do the same, even though I know Blastoise is his 100% answer to my Steelix. U-turn, no surprise. I'm going to get on my Rocks as I'm predicting him to go for the spin as I go into Amoonguss. What a surprise. So, Amoonguss, like, when you got Amoonguss, you got Spore. So he's got an answer for that. Roserade will shut down my Amoonguss hard. If it's got, like, Extra Sensory, which I don't think is boosted by Technician, or Hidden Power Ice or Fire, which is. Hidden Power Ice is probably likely, considering I've got, Landorus and stuff. And it hits the Amoonguss really hard. So I'm going to double into my Cresselia right here because I know Roserade is coming in, and that works out well for me. But I noticed, like, between his Jirachi, Clefable, Blastoise, Roserade, and my Steelix, Amoonguss, Cresselia, we're just going to be bouncing those around a lot. So I got to start playing smart while I'm unable to remove Rocks on my side of the field, and he is. So I gotta start playing smart around this. I'm gonna, go for the Psychic right here because that will hit the Roserade hard, but Jirachi tanks that like a champ. U-turn is incoming, but I stay in for some reason, even though I should have gone into Steelix. I just wanted to see what he would do and get up to full. I'm wishing that I had Rocky Helmet right now, honestly, because I'm not hitting things really hard, and I'm able to heal up with Moonlight easily enough, and with the Rocky Helmet, I'd be getting a lot of chip damage on the Jirachi now, and the Lopunny later, of course, because I'm going to be switching into that whenever it comes out. So Steelix is in. Knock off, that's cute. You can't knock me off. Blastoise comes in, of course, and I get up my Rocks again. I want him to go for a spin now so I can get safely into my Rotom. which comes in, and right here a Volt Switch looks really, really obvious. So that Blastoise could be like Assault Vest, it could be like leftovers, it could be a lot of things. Either way, even if it's like max HP Assault Vest, it does not want to take a Volt Switch really hard. So honestly, I predicted him to switch right here because anything else on his team, Thunderbolt is a 2-hit KO. Not on Roserade, but I do have Overheat, so that's not a safe switch for him either. But yeah, if he goes into like Jirachi, if he goes into Drapion or Clefable, Thunderbolt's hitting really hard, and I'm predicting him to switch out right here. But he actually goes for the spin, but he actually stays in. And even though Thunderbolt does a huge chunk right here, he's going to go for the Scald and bring down my Rotom. Now, on one hand, I'm happy that I did this because Blastoise is 100% in range for Landorus's Earth Power. However, I could have gone for a Volt Switch like a smart person, and it would still be in range, and I'd still have my Rotom. And I could have switched into Amoonguss to tank the Scald, but then he would start going back into like the Roserade, and then I go to Steelix, Cresselia. We do that dance again until I got back into Rotom and got some momentum. So yeah, Rotom goes down, and I don't have my Momentum Grabber anymore, but I go into Weavile, and Knockoff will kill from this range, and anything else that comes in, like, it'll get knocked off. So I'm hoping he actually switches out and thinks he can go into Clefable, because if I can get some damage on that, Knockoff and Poison Jab is like close to a KO unless he's like max defense bold. But I do have the Expert Belt. It would get rid of Lefty if he has it. So I'm hoping that he goes into Clefable right here, but if he stays in and loses his Blastoise, that's also great, which he does. So Blastoise goes down to Weavile. So it's like the rest of his team, Landorus bops you, Landorus bops you. It's just like, it's looking really, really good for my intended cleanup. I am not staying in versus the Lopunny. I'm going into Cresselia. Again, wishing I had the Rocky Helmet because it's more of a sitting duck than anything. Returns not quite a 3-hit KO after lefties. And yeah, Jirachi just switches in super easily. That looks like it's Spadef. It's got like Rocks, U-Turn, Iron Head, and yeah, Toxic, which Steelix is immune. I'm going to go for Rocks on my own because now he can't get rid of them, and it'll like really help. So unless he gets like 50 flinches on me right here or like 10 crits, I'm going to get up my Rocks, and he's got nothing to do about that. He decides to U-turn because this dance is not cute anymore. I got up my Rocks. Right here, I'm going to Protect because if he's got high jump kick, he's going to go for it and bop my Steelix. So I go for the Protect. He goes for the Return, probably predicting me to switch. So I'm going to stay in an EQ, but he does have high jump kick. Okay, so that's a bit annoying because if I kept Steelix, Steelix deals with Clefable. It deals with Jirachi, it deals with Drapion, it deals with his entire team besides Mega Lopunny. So if I got that prediction right, Steelix would be super useful for the rest of this game. But it goes down. All it really did was get up Rocks, which it's nice, especially because Blastoise is gone, but at the same time, it's like, that was just such a bad misplay on my part. Was it really worth it? I don't know. Alright, so Cresselia, like, yeah, that's the easiest switch in the world. He goes into Jirachi again, as I'm gonna get my health back up. His Jirachi is gonna U-turn now or something, which I'm, not really. I wish I had the rock. Or he goes for the Toxic here, which is great for my Amoonguss, but I know he's gonna go into Roserade, so I'm gonna double into something else right here, or rather go for the Foul Play, because if he did stay in, that would have done a decent chunk to the Jirachi. I could take whatever Roserade wants to hit me with, and yeah, I'm gonna hit you with an Ice Punch or a Knockoff or something. So the combination of Ice Punch and Knockoff on the Jirachi should KO if he tries to go for a U-turn right here. That crit, it looked like it mattered, but it really didn't because I am Expert Belt. And yeah, Jirachi goes down right there, which is really nice. It's especially helpful because I can, well, it's still not the greatest for Cresselia because he's still got Drapion to switch into, but no Jirachi, it's always like a nice thing to see. Lopunny comes in. I've still got one more switch for Rocks, which is great because I can like revenge something. And I'm obviously gonna like go for Psychic here, but he's got Drapion to switch in, which kind of sucks. And I've got nothing to hit this, and so right here I debated like, should I just let Cresselia go down bring Landorus in safely and clean up, because the way that his team's looking, it looks like I can do that. I've still got Weavile to like help out and do some damage, like if I can't quite KO Clefable or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with that, because unless Drapion is gone, Cresselia is not doing a lot, and I've got to get rid of that. So probably not the best idea in the world for me to do this right here, but I do in fact bring in Landorus. So I can do one of two things. I can Earth Power or I can Rock Polish. Earth Power, clean KO, you're gone. Which, from where it looks like it's just such an easy KO, but at the same time, does he really need to keep his Drapion around? So I go for Rock Polish right here. I click Rock Polish, and I think to myself, that's great, because if he's got Ice Fang, he'll go for it here, and I can live that. And then I'll outspeed everything else and KO them. Except maybe the Clefable, that might live a hit or two. I don't know if it has Ice Beam or not. But if I had gone for Earth Power right here, it would have bopped this, and anything else that comes in, I would have 2-hit KO'd it. So 2-hit KO'd or Oko, depending on like their investment. Like I can KO Roserade and Lopunny with Psychic. I can KO Clefable with combination of Earth Power and Sludge Wave, or 2 Earth Powers or 2 Sludge Waves. Basically, I set up right here. And he stays in, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Knockoff does an okay amount of damage. I would rather have not gotten that amount of damage. Like, if I just killed it and not taken that knockoff damage, I could have set up on the next thing, or just gotten 2 hits off, or whatever. Yeah. But now Landorus is at +2. And he has nothing for it. So, yeah, we'll just, Earth Power, clean KO, whatever comes in next. Lopunny, it's like, okay, that's cute, you're gone. Like, bye. Clefable comes in, and Sludge Wave is going to do a huge amount. And, yeah, that's a 2-hit KO. He goes for Moonblast, and he gets a crit. In the battle, I didn't think it mattered. I was like, oh, yeah, Sludge Wave didn't KO, I'm going down. Because I thought he would have Ice Beam. But that crit actually did matter, because Moonblast was doing 41% maximum. So Landorus goes down. But from my point of view, it looks like, oh yeah, Weavile can still clean up, no problem. I have one more switch into Rocks. I've got Poison Jab, I've got Ice Punch. Weavile can still clean up. So I wasn't worried too much about that right there. But had it not happened, it would have just been like a clean 3-0 right there. So Weavile comes in. I, of course, have the Poison Jab for the Clefable. That goes down, and Roserade comes in, and I have the Ice Punch for that, which I'm going to go for right now, but he outspeeds. I was not expecting Scarf for Roserade. I should have, because if I, thought about it for, 2 seconds, I could have gone for Ice Shard. I had Ice Shard this whole time. That would have been a KO, and it could have been a 2-0 victory. But I didn't go for it. So, in the span of 3 turns, I had 2 chances to win, and both of them are just nope, not gonna happen. But I've still got a Moongus, but as we've already established, I can't hit Roserade very hard. The most damage I can do to it is 20% with Foul Play, and he is hitting me even harder with HP Ice, so I'm going down right here. So, good game to my opponent. Like I said, this was my toughest matchup for the entire season, and considering that, I think I played very well and it was an overall good game. But at the same time, there are multiple instances throughout this game where I could have had a much easier time. Going for the Volt Switch on the Rotom, switching Steelix out versus the Lopunny because there's no reason for me to stay in versus that. Clicking Earth Power on the Drapion instead of setting up. Not getting crit by the Clefable. Going for Ice Shard right there. There are just a lot of things that went wrong for me towards the later end of the game. But it was still a good game regardless, especially considering how tough my matchup was. So, good game to my opponent. His links should be in the description. Anyone who's uploading this season, I'm gonna put their links down below. I've also got my Twitter, the PTL Twitter, and I should have the PTL fan server and you know, the sprites that I use for the shiny stuff, and the music that I used for the battle, for the intros and stuff like that. So all the plugging aside, that's all I've got today. So like this video if you liked it, or if you're excited for this season, or if you think I played well or poorly or whatever. Comment down below if you got anything else to say, or just to say hi or whatever. I'll say hi back. Hi. And if you're interested in following this season or just content in general, like subscribe, that would be super cool. I'm hoping to get a few more subs this season. So yeah, otherwise that's all I've got. So I'll see everyone in week 2. Yeah, take care now. Bye-bye.